I'm standing here right now with Faded from Vitality. Congratulations on that first map win. I think there are a lot of questions though on why you guys didn't pick Haven and favored Fracture instead. Was there something on T1's Haven that maybe you guys were trying to avoid? What was the reasoning on not picking Haven?
I mean, to be honest, like, we have a very strong map pool, and we're confident across like pretty much all our maps. I think there was a couple holes that we saw on their Fracture and thought, why not? Let's take a shot. You know, I think we have a lot of confidence on Haven. You know, we've definitely showed very strong progressions with it, but I think it's like, let's just do something different. So, yeah.
Well, judging by that, it was the right decision. So good luck to you.
They saw something on that Fracture, they took a risk, and they come out winning on map 1. I am your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Achilles and Mimi. Oh, you gotta feel a little bit bad for the side of T1, maybe the second half. They could have had it, but in the end, Mimi, something about Durka today is just, he's just on fire.
They couldn't figure out getting past him. The second half was just kill Durka challenge and 99% fail. T1 could not dislodge him from A main at all, and he cooked them with the op.
Yeah, I mean, he conditioned them nicely. Okay, we're not using Operator at all. Suddenly brings it out and boom. From every single round pretty much after that, finding value with it. The wheels really started to come off here for T1. Just going for these ego peaks. Meteor swinging back on that north side after his wall gets tripped outside of Dish. You have to know that Op is going to be waiting for you.
Yeah, well, let's move on to our HyperX reflex moment of the day. It is Durka's ace. He has these almost once a year at global events, he'll get an ace. It wasn't with the op this time around, but when he did buy the op, out of the 6 times he bought the op, he got 7 kills. Maybe he pretty much won the game for them.
Yeah, it's insane, and he was putting up rounds for them in the first half. I think that we saw T1, who came out with a really good start to this game. They took a lot of risks, played players in positions Vitality didn't expect, took them off guard in some moments, but then these key players started to come online, and to me, this was the round that was the turning point to get Vitality back into the game.
It really was, and this is where you can see the T1 was kind of starting to get frazzled. Yes, they were able to, finish the half 7-5 and then go on to get up to 10 rounds, on that second half, so it seemed like things were getting readjusted, but this is where I started really seeing the cracks in the play. That first kill from Durka, honestly, shouldn't have really come through, but they don't check T-Fold as Buzz goes strafing across, ends up jumping, can't plant his feet fast enough, and then Durka pulls off an ace. He gets online, gets that momentum behind him, and then it just kind of falls apart from there.
And despite T1's curveball with coming out with their own Vice, which they had not shown before, I think that Vitality did a really good job navigating around that utility, finding the soft site in these mid-rounds, and T1 could not get through the door on the retakes in that first half, really.
I mean, we set up this duelist matchup before the match started, and let's take a look and see how they're doing after map 1. It is Durka versus Buzz, of course, in this head-to-head, and Buzz, by all means, it was not a bad performance, Achilles, but it just felt like the rest of his teammates just struggled so much against Durka.
Yeah, I mean, Buzz, there was some critical, missed kills on the entries, but that's never really been that big of a concern for Buzz in the past, because even if he does die on entry, the info that he's able to gain, the rest of the team's been able to play off of that, and that was something that we weren't really seeing come together here from T1 in certain key moments that ends up with them, losing after having a pretty staggering lead.
Yeah, but that second half was all about Vitality. I wanted to look at one of the rounds that they brought out in this one. And to me, that second half was all about the way that Vitality managed to hold on to A main control the entire time. This round started off, as it almost always was, with Durka taking that space, the Teo util to support him. But Vitality did a really good job of picking their timings to take risks in A main. Fight forward, quickly push out these flanks. This one is one such example where they activate that trap play. Durka takes a timing to get a kill, and then immediately Vitality's in a position to pinch through as this Vice util is full stalling out T1, and to then go on to win this round. They play around that Vice so well. They're so willing to take those aggressive risks when they need to. This is why that teams or players or people in general, we're calling them a super team. Whoever it is, people are calling them a super team.
Me. Yeah. I was. I'm people. I think I belong in that category. I'm people. But I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. It is not all doom and gloom, because we will be moving on to Bind next. And Achilles, if it's anywhere that you expect T1 to make a comeback and to stamp their mark onto the stage, it will be this map. Surely.
Potentially.
Surely.
Potentially.
All the reps in the world.
All right, look, like I said, T1, they have favored this map throughout all of kickoff. This is one they were consistently picking, but one that they really struggled until near the end of the tournament cycle to really start finding value on and really start looking like themselves on. So I have that concern. Especially coming off the loss, considering how far ahead they were on Fracture at certain key moments there, Are they going to be able to get that mental reset, jump back in, and then focus up for this bind? Or is it going to be a bit of a repeat from what we were seeing in the past where they're like, we feel confident on this, but they can't get the gears turning and they end up crumbling?
Well, we heard from Coach Faded already, so let's hear what Coach Autumn had to say ahead of Map 2.
I'm here right now with Autumn of T1 and Jen Lee to help with some translation. Now, Autumn, that was a very, very close map, and it felt like it boiled down to like little small tendencies. I'm wondering, was that enough time for you guys to get familiar with Vitality as we head into the second map?
감독님 상당히 팽팽한 경기였고 이제 서로에 대해서 조금 알아가는 탐색전이 펼쳐졌던 것 같은데 1세트가 좀 T1에게 있어서 바이탈리티를 어떻게 상대하면 좋을지 배울 수 있었던 기회였을까요?
네, 확실히 게임 패턴이나 이런 거는 어느 정도 분석했던 건 비슷하긴 했는데 반대로 저희가 결국 덜케 선수의 오퍼레이터 대처를 못 해가지고 졌다 생각해서 두 번째 맵에서는 만약에 똑같은 상황이 나왔을 때 그 오퍼레이터 대처를 잘할 수 있도록 노력을 해야 될 것 같습니다.
So yeah, the tendencies and their play patterns were kind of as we expected, as we analyzed. But I think one of the things that really gave us a tough time on the first map was Durka's operator, and we weren't able to adapt to that very well. So going into the second map, which is Bind, we kind of talked about how to adapt if the similar situation with Durka's operator were to happen.
Definitely a very scary player. Well, good luck to you guys, and thank you very much for your time. 감사합니다.
I'm glad that they have a plan going on to Bind because that is definitely something that they're going to have to adapt to. If they don't change any comms at all, I don't know if we're going to see that. But also, at least on the pistol side, Achilleos, there was some improvements on the side of T1.
There was an improvement that they got one of them. And pistols were something that were plaguing T1, and a big reason why they were dropping certain maps where, you know, it was close and you're like, oh, if you had just gotten that pistol, if you had just gotten one pistol, maybe you would have been able to close it out. You see here, 37% win rate from kickoff up until this map that just ended. It has not been a strong suit here for the side of T1. And it's something that needs to change, not just for this map, but for the rest of the tournament while they are here. If they're not going to be able to get pistols, they're just always giving themselves a hard time.
Interesting to see a bit of a change coming out from T1 in the agent select here. They were playing the Gecko KO before, very popular last year. They've moved over to the Fade instead. That scan util is pretty powerful against other double smoke comps.
Yes, a bit of a double util grab here. I mean, Stax has really still been favoring the KO. He's one of the few that still runs it here on this map, at least over in Pacific. Hasn't really been too popular. People still kind of lean back on the Sky when it comes down to Bind in particular, but Stax has avoided that for the most part. But I'm curious to see what this ends up looking like. I mean, you have some decent overlap utility with that Fade Raise combo. Perhaps that's something T1's going to look to pull out.
Yeah, and I want to see how Team Vitality deals with this. This is something they struggled with against KC back in EMEA. So, Saisho and Bren, take it away.
We're going to be getting all sorts of answers, I think, to a lot of the questions that we've had, in particular as well. I mean, I want to put a bit of a focus on T1 as a team because this is a squad that they've kind of mirrored, I suppose. There's parity between them and Vitality in terms of the intentions of building as a super team. Buzz and Stax, for example, as well. They wanted greener pastures. They left DRX to escape the cursed 4th place that was always just chasing them. And so they want to come out strong, I think, here for Bangkok. They want to prove that perhaps it wasn't quite a mistake.
Well, that's going to require them to turn up here. Buzz did not have a bad game whatsoever, but I think Stax is going to have to outcall Vitality to come out with the win. It's an interesting smoke that was wall, from Les immediately. It's great on eco rounds. Allows you to do a waterfall out of hookah, but it also allows you to go from B long into elbow. So this is going to put pressure onto Isu and Carpe to hold this one. You see here the crossfire just doesn't exist. And Vitality on their attack sides do tend to do a lot of this. So they'll take B-long early, leave someone there, deposit somebody. In this case, it's Safe. And Safe will look for info, and then he can go through the teleport, and he can drone his team in through showers. They do a ton of this kind of stuff. Now, they're actually going to go for the drone on B, make it feel like this is a B fake as they walk up short.
Knife only tags one, though, so the jig is up. But still, Meteor only just getting reinforcements, and he's unaware of the lurk up. Les has already posted up onto that position. Buzz is rapid onto the scene again. Sheriff in hand, but Vitality cleaning them up, filling up the feed. Plants down for them. Full control.
And that's a massive loss there. Not being able to keep track of that short lurk. Durka goes for the swing, super confident as ever.
And
Time it up with a util. Takes it with his life, but you can't imagine there's too much more trouble. What is that from Trex?
Oh, that's absurd. That really is.
Okay.
So normally in these kind of rounds, you'd be expecting there to be a vice wall at short.
Yeah.
Or something that's going to be able to give them information. Usually it's going to be the wall. This time it's a flash. And that means that if you dodge the flash, and Meteor didn't find the right timing to use it there, whole of Vitality is on top of them before they had any idea. I mean, they were pushed up to default before they even realized that they were on the A site. So that's a great pistol round, a really phenomenal one from Vitality, recognizing a weakness of T1 instantly. And I do think that the T1 defense on this map is pretty lacking. So I think it's going to require something special from these T1 players to be able to win here. And I think one of the big reasons is they don't run the Viper, so you just don't have good smokes across the map. Carpe just gets stressed out in these situations. You have to maybe help with a smoke over towards A short sometimes, and then you have to smoke off long, smoke off hookah. Well, that's it, done.
Playing off sound cues most of the time. Running wherever the action is to try and help out with the defense. Vitality's game plan against this eco as well, it's pure discipline. Just make sure they can control the orbs. As I say that though, footsteps are heard by Buzz, so he realizes that there's potential for the timing here.
He's got a great timing.
A bit of damage.
Well, they're just looking to slow him down, aren't they? Because Buzz is the playmaker in this round.
T1 are nice on the death at this point. Nido swinging out wide, finally Meteor be paying the price.
There are 3 Phantoms in this round, by the way, just to point that one out.
Stax does get just a 1. Pretty essential for Vitality to keep these guns to the next coverage. Okay, it wasn't quite there, but Kicks just gets off the plant anyway and wrapping from behind.
This isn't even a Phantom.
Okay. It's not the gun that perhaps Buzz was looking for. These players are weak. Economic damage is quite important. He's not getting anything now. Buzz can do damage. Be lovely to build up towards one step closer into the ult. Force forwards into a tight corner, and Trex, watchful eye onto that avenue. So Vitality's economy.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is.
They've got 3 Phantoms. They were allowed 2 deaths because 2 people came into this round with Ghosts. I mean, it's perfection again, but this is exactly what we saw from Vitality on Fracture. They looked immaculate in the pistol round and the follow-up. And then they kind of lost it a little.
Yeah.
There was a serious run there where T1 came back into things. So, listen, don't write off the Korean team just yet. We've got the classic Vice setup over towards short. Wall, flash, thorns. And T1 maybe looking to try to take a fight B long. This is not something that they usually do. They certainly don't do it with more than 2 players. But they're trying to apply as much pressure as possible, because if you give this area of the map for free, it's so difficult to play the defense macro.
Okay. excited about,
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah, I suppose that, like, your identity.
Yeah, this is a rough one, especially bind as a map. I mean, it's so damn important. You're playing defense side. You've got to slow the momentum of the attack side team down, make sure they don't build up too many of these big critical ultimates.
Yeah.
They failed at that. Dirk has got the showstopper.
And that's just one of the ways of keeping momentum going like crazy.
I mean, he might not have to even use it.
Buzz has got a hero rifle here. And one of the big things that actually got T1 a win on this map late on in Pacific Kickoff was that they made the adjustment to have Buzz push out showers a ton. And that really helps because it gives them enough information to stack B. And their B defense is generally quite weak because they don't run the Viper. Here's an angle.
Durka taken.
Not quite finding it.
Tough one. Steadily backing away.
3 players defending over towards B. And here's a little bit of pressure coming through over towards Itsu. Buzz looking to try to make the hero rifle play. I mean, he is walking forwards on short right now, and that is where the Vitality block is going to end.
They're just holding for him as well. Still finds the kill.
He's got one and he's got out.
Yeah, could be surviving. It's good information to be gathering, but
this could get really dangerous here.
Get dangerous.
There's 35 seconds left.
Time is of the essence. Less forwards as well. Another fight. Oh my god, he held his ground. No itchy trigger.
He's pulling the defenders. He's actually doing such a good job here, Les.
It's a beautiful job at that. So maybe made it more winnable. Still Izu, he's got the one. Yuto's going to be expended. That's a siege that does connect. Kicks is forced to drop the spike off to the
They're going back through the teleporter. They're going back to left.
Bro, you've only got 11 seconds
Wait,
left.
what are they doing?
What is a call to be made? The players are out of the open, man.
I mean, that is a ridiculous round. I don't think they were expecting Les to literally win the 1v3, I think it was, over towards the A site. He cleared out the A site completely on his own, and T1, the rest of the players on Vitality, sorry, are thinking, well, do we stay on B? Do we try with 15 seconds left to go through the teleporter? I think someone made the call to take the telly and then got counter-called in that spot. What a 3K from Les.
One enemy remaining. 10 seconds left.
Operators out on both sides. Durka has gone for an attack side op here for round 5, and they're looking to try to take the fight. They have looked at this economy so heavily.
Buzz and Durka are going to be taking that head-to-head.
That is such a sick ante from Vitality. They knew for a fact that Buzz was going to be there with the op. That's something that he's been doing a ton in T1's games on Bind, and it was the major win condition for them being able to get that win on Bind towards the end of Pacific Kickoff. He was taking the angle over towards Showers and then pushing out, giving his team full information to be able to stack on B, making up for the weaknesses in the composition. Vitality they're just completely in control at this point. T1 need some change, some shift, some flair. They need a hero.
Yeah, right now looking lost. It might seem a bit doomer from us here, but honestly, so much of Bind just comes down to stopping the snowball potential, and Izu now going to be challenged, tested into this spot as a rapid approach by Les. There's no trade in sight here from Trex. That was a stimmied up Viper running into your face. Izu still going to try and isolate some of these fights potentially. That's Durka, alt, offloaded, showstopper, round to the side, collects the kill. Izu got a lot to do. Damage was done, softened up Durka. Follow-up damage was there, stacks from behind, the best chance the T1 have had in a long bloody time. And Trex left alone here with only seconds to spare. He will topple.
I said they needed a hero, and Isu, he was that. And he was completely alone. T1 utterly beefed the macro there. There was 3 players over towards the A site trying to defend a non-existent hit. Like I said, it's a great idea from Durka, but here you're seeing the replay through the eyes of Itsu. He gets one in hookah. He manages to get out. He buys enough time for reinforcements to come through, and he manages to pick up 2 more kills. Crucially important to get T1 on the board. Buzz again picks up the same op. Going over to Showers, same angle.
Getting a bleeding. T1 have managed it for now. Like I said, same angle. Not going to be getting too much action for now.
Yeah, remember what I was saying though, Buzz was pushing a lot based off B pressure. At the moment, he seems pretty content to just sit here. But the T1A defense relies so much on him staying in control in showers. Is Les going to try to swing this?
Okay. Well, Izu's been dropped. Quick nade out as well. Turka backing away. He's kind of done the damage here because he's going to be pulling players away.
Here's the push.
Here's the push. And in through the wall as well. An attempt to punish by Les. Swinging out wide. Doesn't get a damage on, but Buzz. Oh, he's locked into the corner. Stunned up. Satchels, though, back to safety. And now there's the response. Vitality. They want to be rapid here. Up through the main choke and still finds their shot. Buzz, where are you nailing that one from?
He's one away from showstopper.
Out through onto this site. It's Vitality. They're poking. They're prodding. Bullets are flying. Tapping away with Plant, just trying to bait out some of this util. Buzz! He's dominated! At least through the smoke, that's just raw spam as well, following those sound cues out, but Meteor's still alive and kicking. And a bit of damage through the box, not enough to get the second kill he needed. Match TP, it's an evacuation. Time to run the hell out of there.
Trex, they've given him the spike so that he can get the orbital strike off the end of this. Didn't have the molly, so Meteor's going to be able to cross, get into sight on a quicker timing.
Damage done to the safe, though. Still potentially winnable, you got to imagine. But as you said, orbital strike has been earned up.
And the salvos, too.
Salvos, and safe is already rotating all the way around.
It should be a checkmate for Meteor. He's going to have to pull out something unbelievable to win this.
As he takes out Trex, can't give up onto this fight. Nice and early, but it's an off angle at that still.
There goes the orbital strike.
Good precision. Salvo's forced out. Time is going to start to tick here. And it's running short here for Meteor to try and make a play, try and get that win con.
He threw the salvos from hookah, so that's where he thinks he is.
And now he's wrapped all the way around, but he's finally shown presence. But this time, the circle is shrinking and Safe delivers. Bullet to the dome. Meteor is no more.
That is masterful from Safe, man. Throwing out the salvos, using the fact that you can see them flying through the air to bait his position. And Durka managed to get that opening kill as Izu was going for more info in hookah. And that shows you, I think, just how much they're missing on the B side of the map. The defaulting working so nicely, and what a play from Trex. He got 3 from that spot, by the way, pushing over towards Lamps. He was the hero early on. Tactical timeout here, though, coming through from T1. Yeah, and composure. That's the word that we were talking about so much with Vitality in map 1, actually, when they were able to get the comeback. I think they've really settled into the game here, settled into the big stage. T1, they're going to be forced onto an eco round, most likely. There's a few players that might be able to scrap together a bit of a buy, but the tac timeout was desperately needed. They need input from Autumn. And if you haven't been following the drama behind the scenes, actually, we've seen quite a lot of stuff. For example, Meteor doing live VOD reviews of some of his matches during kickoff, talking about how Autumn wasn't really giving them the support that they needed during some of these tactical timeouts. And then that process, they've actually given a lot of transparency and insight into what's been going on to make this T1 squad perform like a super team. So there's an opportunity for Autumn to have his impact in the game. Let's see if he can make the adjustment necessary for them to win in round 8. This one's just going to be a wild push-up short.
Potential for a brawl less. Pressing forwards. At least holding for this potential push that T1 might be opting into themselves. Steadily as it goes. Creeping forwards onto the angles and a wide swing. That is going to be explosive. Okay, let's not ready for that.
Reaction should be coming out here from Vitality in through B. Isu required a lot of. He does actually have the Nightfall to try to slow this down if he wanted to go crazy with it.
Just going to be playing his life for now, though. Will be that retake, even though you don't quite have the weaponry. You probably need the kills still.
Nobody committing to the flank for the retake. All coming through CT.
Yeah, that's an old committed orbital strike to try and cut up this side, but nobody's ready to even play off of this one. It's an unusual one by T1. They want to try and go for this once more. Trex.
Steel Guard.
Planting, Steel Garden. Sidearms out. Time to shine.
It's a pistol round.
They're being absolutely offloaded in terms of, I mean, every single piece of util ultimates all being used. Nightfall on top of it. Durka cut up into the corner here, but the rifles are back out and ready and waiting. Trex, he's found himself too. Drifting in and out. They need to time these fights correctly. 1v2. Safe. Almost monstrous for Meteor. He just saves the day.
T1 have managed to stabilize, getting some rounds on the board. It's requiring a lot. But there you go. I mean, tactical timeout finding the value already with the MasterCard Thrifty. You've got to imagine that most of what they were talking about is probably to do with the rifle rounds like we're about to see. But a calculated risk there, investing those ults and getting good value out of them. Durka got absolutely destroyed in this spot. I feel like Isu's having a really good game here. He's been put in a difficult situation defending the B site. I don't think the strategy is great from T1 on their defense, but he's doing what he can.
Yeah, and we're straight back into the fight once more.
So a little jump peek over towards Hookah. An op fight from Buzz.
12 seconds missed. No big deal.
Well, thankfully we didn't miss a kill, but it was a lot of damage done to Trex.
See it now. Les trying to tango. It's tappy alongside the footsteps with the rifle play. Stacks! That's good work. Straight down through A short. Durka, okay, he's going to make a go of it.
He's just walking straight through. He has no idea, though, about bench.
Yeah, Meteor's off angle is perfect. Good reposition.
It feels a little similar here to Fracture in that first half, where Vitality were totally in control at the beginning. Now, admittedly, on Fracture, that was only for 2 rounds. They just looked clean for the pistol and the follow-up, and then T1 started getting into the rhythm of things. But there's a definite feel here that T1 are getting back into the game.
Yeah.
And it's not in the same way that they have been doing at Pacific. This is more proactivity, like, for example, that triple push down short in the prior round. Here, proactivity again, actually. The start of the round, they go for a jump peek sand and then swing in with the operator to try to catch Trex at the start. Really mixing up their defensive setups nicely. But T1, how many rounds do they need here? If their attack half is going to be good, and normally it is pretty solid, I still think they need like 4 and a pistol.
Yeah. They've done well to stem the bleeding, as we were mentioning. Part of the battle is stopping the snowball from playing off, but just looking at the state of the economy, I mean, investment with the 2 rifles saved, Vitality might be able to get a buy together. Scrambled, potential. They're definitely thinking about it.
Buzz is taking the operator over to B again. This is not something that he's been regularly doing, almost always going for that showers play. But looking to really mix things up because it's working against Vitality. Vitality have clearly seen the tape, so you've got to do something different.
All grouped up, and there is that investment. Goes off to the side here. Horn broken. It's expecting signs of life, but the squeeze is occurring as well straight through Hookah. This is a rapid approach. Durka deep into the smoke. See if he wants to explode out into the site. Trailblazer dealt with. Hot on the heels though, and the smokes to cut this up. Partitioning into the site!
How did he get 2?
What is occurring there? Just a shorty in hand, and making sure to clean up the stragglers now. T1 hot on the scene, making sure to supplement that defense, pushing forward. So the trade needs to be intact, and it's there.
Vitality are definitely pulling some strats out of the playbook here, but that's one that I think probably needs to be saved for eco rounds, where you need to close the gap, where you need to get value out of stingers or something, because here, they're just causing chaos and carnage, but Buzz did a great job of surviving in the midst of it. This is a player that didn't have a rifle. He was out here with an op and a shorty. And he gets a double kill with the shorty in the end. This is now 3 rounds in a row. Vitality have got a problem, a big problem.
See, deep sky flash. Gets the connection. He's going to be blinded here. So take the peek. He's got at least the safety coverage with the smoke.
It's a deep wall as well. It's pretty difficult to bait this one out without fully committing to the showers fight. As soon as you swing through, you're taking this duel against Meteor. And in the meantime, Buzz getting posted down B long, and Vitality's attack side defaults are structured really heavily around them having B long and showers control. They're not really a team that likes to do big, short pops, but they're forced into it.
Walks all the way up, Thorns at their feet. Nobody ended up breaking that one, but out into the open. That's Durka. He's a sitting duck at that point. There's an Armageddon that's even expended. Vitality got to try and go off with this one, otherwise it's just going to be wasted unless it's the one to pave that way. Forward to the flash, refight against him. Stacks. He's dropped down to his knees. He's going to be able to see all, and Izu is rapid with the wraparound. Vitality themselves looking to flip the map all the way around. Here, running rings around each other, and it's all about this game of timings. Who's going to be spotting it first? Bullet to the side, and now an instant retreat.
That timing was perfect. I mean, they had to wait until the KO had actually died, because if they stepped in front of him, they would have been spotted.
18 seconds left to play with here. Nade rebounding. Safe while he's onto the plant, sticking it, damage done. Weakened, but just with the operator, I mean, Buzz is going to need an absolute miracle. The flick of the wrist does not hit. And Vitality found a round in the dark there. They were struggling for quite a while.
Again, utilizing that kind of mid-rounding that I think has been so good for Vitality on their attack side. They take a bit of a contact play down short, they lose Durka, and yet they still commit to it, trusting their teammates to be able to trade out, and then realize, okay, T1 have overstacked onto A, let's make the pivot. Morale still pretty good over there for Vitality. And these last few rounds they've been focused on early on, trying to take the fight over towards Showers. Durka once more with the attack side operator, hoping to find the pick onto Buzz. Buzz is not home. Buzz has made the adjustment to fight B long, and it has been doing it for the last 3 or 4 rounds. Does Durka want to take a fight against Meteor? Maybe with the showstopper online.
Yeah, gives him a bit of a bump, I think, into the upcoming fight. Swaps around the weaponry anyway.
Rex with the op. Haven't seen that one.
There.
We'll see. Might get explosive pretty quickly here. Triggered the wall, but still got a lot of thorns to contest with.
It's dog into showstopper. The dog getting information, finding the victim.
I mean, it's a hard committed angle as well. You might as well just use it now. Yeah, with the let loose. And still, to pre-fire into the smoke, drifting in and out here. VT is way ahead of all of this. My God, it's a secret to his back, and he's spotting players. Just maybe ships in the night. What the hell is occurring here? Feed is built up this way, that way. Meteor still alive. 25 health to his name, and he's done the damage. Surely less. Forced to pick up those pieces, but he is no more.
That is now 2 rounds from T1, where a player has been a smoke criminal. We saw earlier on with that double smoke hit onto B, where Buzz slipped in with an op and a shorty. Blast, and it was over. This time, Meteor, under crazy amounts of pressure. He had a Trailblazer in his face. Showstopper was being thrown at him, and yet he works in and out of these smokes, showcasing with all of that experience from being a top-level Sentinel player. He comes out of it looking good. T1, I think they've done a great job on this defense side. 5 is more than I think they should have expected.
Straight into the op, though. Dog's going to be broken nice and early. Not sure if it's spotted. Buzz, he's got to respect the util, though. Down to his feet. Showstopper of his own as well. He wants to try and take that fight forward. Dodges the flash, but he's suppressed. Can't offload the rocket even if he wanted to. Steel Garden's going to be used to see if they can push back this approach. That's a solo TP with a spike in hand from Safe.
Yeah, that's a strange one. I mean, they do actually have pretty good map control right now. Safe survived on that teleport, which, listen, that wasn't guaranteed. But now they can go for the B hit, or they could group up and go short. Durka can join them and turn it into an A split.
Through A. Flash is good. Not sure if there was any sound cues to accompany it. Keep flashing the nade on top of it, so...
They pulled 4 people onto B.
Players back. TPs, though. They want to go back up towards A, and now it's all on to Buzz. See if he can be the playmaker. Here it is. Showstopper! Around to the side. No targets found. Damage done. Just softens up a few of them, but he's only got the operator, but the thorns enough to potentially slow it down. Juggling with the shoulders. The wall to bait out, and orb into their face, and everybody going to be skipping and hopping up and over it, but time has been bought as T1 are back into the fight, back into the fray. Izu back to the wall.
There.
A rifle into hand at that. Tap into the side, a plant online. It needs to be a defense in order. Buzz, he's found his mark. Off to the side once more, but a shot missed. Going wide. Vitality just 2 left to stand. Lesson kicks, and there's a pit. It's going to be smothering up this site. Bit of a blight onto it, but it might be able to help them out now, unless I don't even want to go for a peek of his own. He looks like he was considering it. The pit doesn't stretch far enough.
The pit is so good for Kicks to play around with the Stinger. They're trying to get value inside of it, trying to get information from the horn, from the knife.
Well, dodged, but the decay damage kicking in. And listen, just scraps is really what T1s are working with. And the time stand and tick here. Bodies to the side, jumping into the fight. Kicks takes control of the round for the final hurdle in our first half of Bind.
It was difficult for Vitality to maintain that level of momentum that they got at the beginning. That first quarter was lovely, and yet T1 made a resurgence and might still have done enough.
Still could be anyone's map at the end of the day, and we're going to be fighting out on the other side of this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Let's get to it then. It's going to be the second half of buying between these two teams here. Vitality managed to get a couple of the rounds going towards the end here, even though T1 were, stemming the bleeding and more, bringing it to that 7-5. Listen, anyone's game, to be honest.
It is. 2 out of 3 of the pistols have gone the way of Vitality, and that's actually been their record all year. They've been winning about 66% of their pistol rounds. So let's see how this one goes. If Vitality win this as well on their defense side, it's going to be so tough for T1 to get back into the game. Their attack side, though, from T1, I think generally looks a little better than their defense. They've already managed to navigate that difficult situation where you don't have the Viper to be able to control the B angles. What are they up to on their attack side?
Pausing the timer. I'm getting worried. Are you worried?
Maybe Autumn is going for a tactical timeout.
Yeah, round 13, never before seen.
No, the timer's ticking down now. It must have been a very, very minor tech issue by the look of things. Okay, let's have a look at what the pistol round strategy looks like then for T1. Previously, they've been doing stuff where they go for a bit of a fake over towards B and a short push. That was the last pistol that T1 ran. This time, looking very much like they're going to go for genuine pressure over towards B and then maybe hit a teleport. I mean, they're playing both extremities at the same time here.
Double face as well. Less.
With a headshot.
Yeah, bullet to the brain, just through the wall, and that's what saved him. Still going to be weak, but oh my god, he is hard committed onto that angle and even wins the fight out as well. It's going to be a dog flying forwards, TP engagement. They're trying to put the pressure down and applied onto B Long. On top of it, Vitality winning out the fights onto the other side of the map. Still putting a stop to this. Trex, it's an anchor smoke. He's going to be layering this one down. He's going to try and dominate it. At that still, Carpe just steps into it and Salvo's avoided for now. Plant still needs to go down and Carpe does liberties taken and risks in order. He's made it even. 2-2 now. Definite chances. A boombot kill right from behind. Carpe not anticipating, but what a shot from Izu. Round and damage done. Softened up prior. Izu set up for that 3-piece.
What a play from Carpe and Isu. Carpe plays that situation pretty well. They heard the teleport coming through behind them. They knew that Les was somewhere on the flank, had to go for an aggro play, caught the timing wonderfully, and that was after Carpe already won a duel. Isu closes things out for the Red Bull clutch. And I feel like you are getting really good performances from Isu. I know that I said it earlier, but it's impressing me because he has been playing on the Gecko on this map, and it's not a player that I'm really looking towards on the kind of Gecko fade initiator to have enormous impact, but I think he's been great today. And that's a pistol that T1 really needed.
Rather broken. Trex is trying to posture like there could be a lot more presence, even the TP as well. I mean, Turker's straight there and around. He wants to try and farm up this orb, deny it from the attackers.
They're trying to make Stax think that A has now been heavily reinforced, when in fact the stack is on B. So they're trying to mess with Stax' head and lure the attackers back into this stacked B site. It does appear to be working.
Cheeky play. Vitality though, creeping forwards here.
If they get too aggressive, too proactive, they're going to give the game away. But otherwise, Itsu is just going to wander into his death.
Yeah, I mean, giving a game away, he might just be giving a gun away, but no, the Prowler gives him confirmation, acknowledgement. Players are tucked up tight onto the corner here. Meteor spamming away. Could have been a ghost moment, but still secures the kill. And wow, I mean, he's sharp, surgical, precise with that gun in hand, and they're cleaning up the stragglers.
What a nice awareness of what the defensive setup looked like there. The Prowler gave the game away.
30 seconds left.
Isu again delivering that info that his team needed. Meteor finding the timing. Durka, if he can find one, would actually be able to get a showstopper online for the anti-bonus, which would be pretty incredible. But he doesn't. It's Drex that actually ends up getting it instead. But yeah, Durka is now one away from showstopper. I wonder if that's going to be something that Vitality fight around here. You know, see if he can pick up a cheeky quick one over towards B long. That might be going through T1's head as well. You might want to do some early B long control on the attack side and then go back into whatever your game plan is.
We'll find out if T1 at least thinking about it as well. Holding tab, seeing how close he is, because...
Yeah, I think you'll probably see Stim Beacon here and trying to run out B long, anticipating that Durka's going to be playing for this orb.
Shutting them down.
No, easy to contest.
No Stim, but they're definitely setting up the high-low.
Cheeky peek, like you said, with a high-low.
Durka in the mid-round might have an opportunity to play for the Showers orb. Or you know what, he might just go for the rotate, play as the float and hit ahead.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
What was that from Gix?
That's disgusting.
Lands it. Sights over towards B long and flashes dodge. It was a snake bite prior. Slowing down the approach of T1 up through B long, and they're drifting into different directions on top of it. What a kill to be found. That's a bulldog in the hands of Izu. Cleans it up. Trailblazer not quite broken. I wonder if that's giving away a bit of info here that Stax is alone. They're going to call for that refight. They're hard committed. Off onto the corner. Stax has got to be incredibly careful.
He's so alone.
Yeah. Just with the Guardian.
Then again, so is Drex on A.
Unless going for the peek. Not anticipating it, because why would you? Oh, Stax is just here. Solo was anything, pulling players around when the Panda's going down. I mean,
Drex got out.
Yeah, okay, still alive. Weaving in and out, using the smokes as cover, but as it blooms down, he spots out Isu, and the follow-up onto Buzz. This is disgusting gameplay, and Durka knew exactly what Stax was up to.
Drex is on an island there, playing around the smokes and gets 3. The fact he isn't traded after the first kill is criminal from T1. But then to get another 2 in that spot is amazing from Drex. He plays around. I mean, he literally sees the bloom of the gun to be able to get the second kill here. Throws the smoke back. Just for a moment, I suppose, a frame, he spots Isu, but you could also see the flare coming out from the bullets. Well, there's an individual play to put Vitality on the board in the second half. And now they've got massive ults, actually. These are incredibly good plant denial, re-clear ults.
Same could be said potentially for T1. They're one away from a few themselves.
But both sides of the map, Vitality are trying to deny ult orbs.
And Durka is taking out Meteor. Meteor has been a bit of a pesky player for them. I mean, he's been finding the gaps well enough.
Isu's going to look for another gap, hoping that because Durka is not fighting Showers, he can walk in.
Goal. It's lovely. Slightly ajar.
Yeah, they're one step ahead in this round. Anticipating the Meteor lurk, anticipating Isu's lurk as well. This might even end up being a bit of a save here. There's still a minute on the clock, but if T1 don't find another pick, you don't want to allow things to run away.
Slight jump spot. Maybe if Stax was able to get a kill, we'll consider going for it, but...
They are still going to be slow playing and looking for another opportunity into the round, but don't know whether Vitality are going to give it.
No, jump spot should be playing Durka in. especially with the shot revealing your positioning, and Durka going for that slider stuff, swings, even with the old Stimpy to get the hell out of there, and look at that timing. Buzzes straight round to the side. It's a showstopper, and intuition off the charts. But that game sense, securing a kill onto Trex. There's an in, there's an opening, but there's 13 seconds left to play with, and a smoke has to be used across. Kicks late with a spam, but the salvos. Carpe, how are you managing this one? Tiny window, stun connects, spamming away inside the smoke, and Kicks, he's got away with it. Buzz steps forwards, they need another one, can't adjust it in time, tried to snap it up to heaven, and it's all down to Stacks. IGL, 1v3, pressured, 8 bullets left, 2 bullets left, 1 player remains, upgrade, obtained, flash over the top, and Stacks, you absolute beast!
He lights Bangkok up. Incredible 1v3. Buzz opened things. He created the opportunity with the 2K, finding that timing through, but what is that? Spray transfer or just taps? I can't even tell. It's ludicrous though.
On his feet.
The Red Bull clutch from Stacks, but that's worthy of a mouse kiss for sure. It's gotta be. Give it a smooch, just for old time's sake. And it's the 2 DRX players, former DRX players I should say, now representing T1, that make that round a reality. And that should never have been a possibility. No. That was a round that Vitality had signed, sealed, and delivered.
1v3 like that? Get the hell out of there. Hell of a transfer. Pulls that timeout out of Vitality.
Yeah, because this is now a brutal one. Their economy's just been ruined in a moment. In 30 seconds, they've gone from feeling like they're in control of Bind to feeling like T1 have an opportunity to get some momentum underneath them, because if they get a clean eco here, a clean anti-eco, I should say, then they're going to have null command, then they're going to have orbital strike, and the next rifle round is going to be so difficult. This is a serious inflection point in Bind. And Buzz and Stacks have offered it to them.
Insane plays all around. Knife up and over the top here with the Prowler, just for that extra addition. Haunt over the shoulder. They're trying to set Buzz up for an easy fight out towards it. Trex is toppled. He was the one with a hero rifle at that. Jump spot not quite punished, but a lot of damage done. It's going to make Les think twice.
Les is taking contact a lot down B-long, and he's also taking a lot of damage on these jump spots. I wouldn't be surprised if Vitality decide to fight in a future round. I guess they can fight this round too.
Yeah, but it's important for T1 to not give away too many more of those, and safe close quarters combat. Nice ball, connects, he rebounds, he's right in their faces, man. Gets the one. Supplemented, I think, just from that nade that Durka sent flying, but the sound cues are cut away. The flash through into their face as well. An attempt to deny the plow. What a shot by Kicks, and Durka's still here, man. Won't be removed. Stacks left to do it again.
In the same spot.
Boombot in your face. Damage done to a few. Lining them up, but this time, not getting done. What an answer back by Vitality.
How have they managed to come back into this one? I said if T1 get a clean anti-eco. And if was doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, apparently. They do now still have big ultimates to work around, but it's another MasterCard Thrifty. And this time, it goes the way of Vitality. And this all from a 4v5 too. How on earth is Meteor losing that? This one was an unintentional great combo play, but then Kicks finding a beautiful flash. I mean, his flash even set up Durka for the other kill over towards Showers. Immaculate timing on that. And Economy flips completely on his head the other way. Can T1 pull off their own? Double satchel and a judge from Buzz. Could see them go for that eco round play that we saw from Vitality, actually. Double smoke, waterfall, out from hookah.
Heavy face of the players. They are looking to flood out, at least with Buzz, but he's flashed up. Sky high. Les was tracking him.
And no ability for the spam on the Haunt.
Thorns placed down, re-clear, called here by Vitality, and damage is being done at least by Izu, but the trade, lead fired through, and that's going to be Izu dealt with, leaving it down to just Meteor. Spike's dropped down, but it's a 1v3.
Yeah, and look at Vitality. They're grouping up in the 1v3, determined not to let Meteor do what Stax did to them.
Tap, Meteor, to try and force the issue. Pushes place forward, that's a team clash! Oh my! It's all gone to pot! And another chance! The tracking's just not quite there!
How is that? How Durka decides to play that 1v1. Oh my god. I thought it was written in the stars, another 1v3. Stax having his Meteor with an insane opportunity. The first two, tiny micro adjustment to be able to get it. What is this?
I mean, it's just the outlaw that he's working with. Doesn't want to take the fight with it, so he's trying to satchel in his face. The frustration shows.
But this is now the round where T1 have massive ults to be able to work with. Les popping his off preemptively, knowing that T1, their economy is on the line. They're the team with the ultimates. Vitality also need to invest to try to keep things equal.
Fix just spotting the heads out there. Flash up and out, and over with a Steel Garden, lighting them up. Nothing to deal with that one with the Haunt. Easy target, still as an orbital strike is used. In response, tempting this one, Buzz is still forwards onto this angle. Perch. Find out, Trex just dominates it. Out and over now. Thorns alongside it. Players are scattered, and T1 looking for options, looking for answers. They're not going to get it. Durka spamming the right place on top of it. Stax just can't dish it out, man. This is 11 now for Vitality. They found their footing.
The combo play there between Durka and Safe stun, rattled off the wall. Safe still finding impact despite the fact he's only got 4 kills. And T1, that was the round that they needed. I'm surprised they didn't try to invest the KO ult. Where was the null command in the midst of all of that? I don't really get it.
Yeah,
it feels like that should have been the tool to stop anything that Vitality were doing.
They lost the vision.
I can understand saving the orbital strike. That's a post-plant tool. I get it, but am I missing something? Where was Stax's ult in the midst of all of that? That was a must-win round for T1. They're going to need another Thrifty. You can't rely on those.
Yeah.
When Vitality are 2 rounds away from being able to win the match.
It's not consistent. Don't think you want to force into this one either.
No, they've got odds and ends to work with.
Yeah, you're essentially playing to just drag this one to OT.
And it's something that T1 have been able to do before. Certainly when they've been able to go up, for example, against DRX, 4th map. They were even able to put 4 rounds on the board, drag it back into OT, win there. They've been in situations a little like this, but you can't ask for miracles every time. T1 are getting set up here. Maybe to go for some kind of short pop. There's pings all over the minimap. It certainly looks like Safe and Durka are going to be under a lot of pressure.
Durka not one to shy away from the fight. Buzz really just matching that as well. Straight in, through onto the site. Like a rocket, flash into the face of Meteor, and they do deal with him. It just couldn't quite dodge it in time. Vitality cleaning up these stragglers.
That's such a nice protocol from Vitality.
Here comes the drone, leading the charge and away. Skipping a hop. Molly in for the smoke. Stax. Blinder of a shot, just can't quite connect the next one. Durka happy to clean it all the way up, and this is just a bit of spam on smokes just to make sure that they do clean this up nicely.
If T1 had maybe applied a little more pressure, had not been caught quite as quickly, maybe they would have dragged out a showstopper, maybe they would have set themselves up for a better situation, but this, it feels inexorable. T1 are marching towards an incredibly tough situation here. They need 4 rounds in a row. They need to be able to win the next and probably save enough ultimates to keep some kind of snowball going.
Look at that
it
timeline.
is such a difficult ask.
The second half is just mirroring Fracture. Almost bar for bar.
It is, yeah.
Like you said, difficult ask. There's ults online at least. The only silver lining that T1 have got to work with Goes both ways though. Durka's earned himself up. Kicks with the Seekers if it's forced to use it in case they need a bit of that mid-round information. But for T1, it all lies here.
Last time T1 had a must-win round, we didn't see Stax use the null command, so that's what I'm looking towards here. Does he want to try to use it to cancel out Durka's ultimate? Does he want to try to use it to initiate and then save a knife to cancel Durka's ult? What's going through the mind of T1's IGL in an attempt to outcall Vitality?
Scout destroyed.
Drone through and broken. Gets the info. Kicks as well, just jiggling. Spotting presence across the map here, so going to be a level of awareness here for Vitality. They know that it's going to be a slow default, at least for now, but could rapidly change into something else entirely. Safe is just ahead of all of this. Trying to play ahead of the underhanded flash, but he's blinded up anyway. Can't land that kill. Stax forwards. Buzz is the one there. Tip of the spear. Showstopper in his hands. Again, smokes.
Again, Stax is not using the null command on the exec. He's saving it. Got to find the right timing here, though.
Possibly for Durka's ultimate.
There.
Here and out. Good flash dodge. Buzz tries to swing into it. Durka's still alive. Could be a problem. Nade. Not sure if that was meant to go in that direction there. Defensive positions by T1. Everybody backing away. Rolling retreat. Spike is down. It's one of the best positions they've been in quite some time here. Forwards.
They have Molly after this. They have Orbital Strike. It's essentially checkmate at this point for T1.
And just dragging it down the time. T1 needed it. Leicester going to try and do some damage here on either side of things. Make sure you can take away the guns, which is important.
I mean, that is brutal for T1's economy. What were we saying at the start of this round? They needed to win, and they needed to win cleanly. Now, we were framing it in terms of the ult economy. And on that front, it's still not that bad. They still have null command. They still have the Nightfall to work with. But in terms of the rifles they're going to be able to get online, oof, it's not going to look good.
No.
They're scrapping together light armor, Guardians, and they're not even able to buy full util. I mean, Buzz does not have his boombot this round. Stax has to make a choice between buying a rifle and buying full util as well. He ends up opting for the Guardian.
T1 are between rock and a hard place. There's no getting out of this one. Has to be mechanics.
Well, they know where Durka is now.
Yeah.
They know where that showstopper is, where that op is.
And so, avoidance probably going to be pretty key. The playbook of T1. They are walking their way up through B long. They've been struggling to get any sort of foothold so far in this half.
And it feels like if Durka just holds this showstopper, Stax is never going to ult.
No. Never going to use it. They're going to take that initiative to flash through, but anti-played kicks. Okay, just backs himself out. Will get at least a trade-off, equalizing it in the process. T1 feeling that heat. So Nightfall expended now, and another flash forwards. It's Kicks taking the initiative. Backs himself away now. Wants to try and dominate the position and make sure that there's no easy access in through Hookah. Drops down though with no sound cues. It's a difficulty. The smoke's going to be fading. Fight one out. Kicks is a menace to society. Vitality clean it all up in the end. 13-9. 2-0. Almost as clean as you can get it.
And they were in control of both of the second halves on our maps today. Fracture and Bind, they put on a clinic on defense. Try as he might, Stax was not able to outcall against Vitality and make his impact felt. They've talked about the road to Paris, and that's one step closer. Being able to collect the trophy at Bangkok here is exactly what Team Vitality are hunting for. This is a team that was built as a global super team, pulling in talent even from in the South American powerhouse of Loud. And we got to see it on display today.
Yeah, we definitely did. Shaky moments, honestly. T1 had elements where they were testing Vitality, I think. We had some big questions of whether or not Vitality could answer back, and even some questions, I think, leading into this series about whether the core of this old Vitality squad from prior years could step up to the challenge, get off to a really strong start. They've showcased it.
And this is a team that's hunting for so much more. I mean, a good start of the Swiss stage is exactly what they're looking for, but their eyes will be focused forwards. And this is where the game really changes for all of these teams, because you could put a lot of prep into your opening match. Vitality don't know who they're going to be going up against. It's not a standard bracket format. It's Swiss stage. So they, as with all of the other teams, are going to now have a very different feel to the rest of this. And same could be said for T1. I really feel like T1 maybe missed a bit of a trick here, taking us to Bind instead of taking us to Lotus.
Yeah.
I want to see that Lotus come out at some point and get tested on the international stage. They're 3-0 with it, a really unconventional Raze ISO comp, and they didn't bring it out today. And then Vitality banned it in the second round, so we didn't even get it as a potential decider. Not that we went there. Vitality were too clean.
Yeah, well, T1 will have some time to mull that one over. And as you said, I mean, Vitality just too clean with it. The label of a super team, sometimes it's a heavy mantle, breaks a lot of teams. Egos can potentially get in the way, but for Vitality, it's just been clean sailing.
These are two teams to take a good look at as they advance further forwards. They have high expectations, and with high expectations, you do tend to look at any potential failure a little more critically. And I think T1, they've got that eye on them right now. It's an insanely competitive tournament. There's a lot of talk in the community about the fact that, you know, there's only 8 teams attending, but to frame that differently, that means there's no free games at all.
Every game should be competitive.
Match is insane right from the beginning. It's like jumping straight into the playoffs of our other tournaments later on down the road. Yeah. And that's a tough spot. I mean, 2 teams are guaranteed here because of Swiss to go 0-2. That's how the format works.
And as we said, still chances, of course, for these 2 teams. But we're going to set it down to the floor for the Verizon post-match interview. Durka is standing by.
สวัสดีครับโอ้โหเป็นไงบ้างครับโอ้ทุกคนพร้อมมากเลยวันนี้นะก็จะต้องแปล2ภาษาแต่ก็จะอยากขอความช่วยเหลือจากทุกคนอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะครับผมวันนี้เราก็มาอยู่กับผู้เล่นที่ยอดเยี่ยมของเราเลยนะครับผมในเกมเมื่อกี้นะครับผม Ladies and gentlemen please give a round of applause for Durka First of all, congratulations on your win. It was an amazing performance by you and your team. I do have a couple of questions though. สำหรับคำถามแรกนะครับผมอยากรู้เหมือนกันเพราะว่ามันมีเนื้อเรื่องอยู่นะเมื่อวานถ้าเกิดว่าใครได้ติดตามนะครับก็จะรู้แล้วนะว่าเมื่อวานเราได้สัมภาษณ์คังๆไว้เขาบอกว่าดูเลสที่เก่งที่สุดในเนี้ยถ้าไม่ใช่เขาก็น่าจะเป็นคนนี้นะครับผมน่าจะเป็นเดอร์เกอร์นั่นเองอยากรู้ว่าเขาคิดเหมือนกันหรือเปล่า So the first question for you is I'm not so sure if you watched the interviews yesterday. I interviewed EDG Kangkang, and he mentioned that one of the best duelists in this competition is Durka. What do you think about that? Who do you think it is, or do you agree or not?
Feels nice. I mean, I'm kind of friends with him. He's been always saying that he used to watch me since like the first Reykjavik, so it's kind of nice that he pops off now. So I'll also say that I think it's him. Because, I mean, he won a championship before me too, so I'll give it to him.
Got it. สำหรับคำตอบของเดอร์เกอร์นะครับก็ถือว่าน่ารักพอสมควรเลยบอกว่าเอาจริงๆคือรู้สึกดีมากเนาะที่คังเนี่ยให้เกียรติเขานะถือว่าเป็นไอดอล1คนเลยเพราะว่าเห็นบอกว่าดูมานานแล้วนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นเดอร์เกอร์ก็บอกเหมือนกันว่าคนที่เก่งที่สุดในนี้ดูลิสที่เก่งที่สุดในรุ่งอรุณของดูลิสของเรานะครับก็คือคังเองชมกันไปอวยกันไปมานะก็บอกเลยนะว่ายังไงก็น่าเป็นคังสำหรับเขาเนื่องจากว่าก็คังได้แชมป์ไปแล้วเขายังรออยู่เหมือนกันนะครับผมสำหรับคำถามที่2ก็อยากที่จะถามต่อนะครับว่าเมื่อกี้เนี้ยคือจริงๆนะแน่นมากนะครับผมเล่นเป๊ะจริงๆเลยอยากรู้ครับว่ารู้สึกกดดันบ้างไหมเพราะว่าเอาจริงๆถ้าเกิดใครได้ดูแมปแรกเนี่ยคือแทบจะไม่พลาดเลยนิ่งๆแต่มาแน่นอนนะครับก็เลยอยากรู้ครับ Durka for the second question I really wanted to know this performance the first game of Team Vitality you really outperformed a lot of people's expectations I mean you were very clean I wanted to know were there any pressure for you at all I mean it seems like a walk in the park so I would love to know if there were any pressure as well as what's on your mind at this point in time
No, I mean, I don't think there was any pressure from us. We just wanted to play our game and see how it goes because We didn't have much time to practice, of course, because we were coming here like a few days before the event and we have like a lot of stuff to do. But I think we just knew what we need to do, how we need to play, and we kind of like remember how we did in kickoff, and then like just be together, just be with the boys, and it doesn't matter if something goes right, just like be together and it's all good.
โอ้โหก็ถือว่าตอบดีนะครับถือว่าบอกว่าเลยว่าเอาจริงๆก็ไม่ได้รู้สึกกดดันเนาะเพราะว่าการที่เขาเนี่ยได้มาที่นี่เขาก็ไม่ได้มีเวลาซ้อมเท่าไหร่นะเพราะว่าเนื่องจากเรื่องต้องการเดินทางด้วยต้องมีการถ่ายอินเทอร์วิวเยอะนะครับแต่ว่าอย่างไรก็ตามที่สำคัญที่สุดก็คือว่าอยู่กับเพื่อนๆอยู่กันเป็นทีมก็พอแพ้ก็แพ้ด้วยกันชนะก็ชนะด้วยกันนะครับผมทำอะไรก็ตามอยู่กับทีมสำคัญที่สุดครับก็เลยไม่ได้รู้สึกกดดันก็ถือว่ายอดเยี่ยมไปเลยทีเดียวนะฮะแต่ก็อยากที่จะไหนๆแล้วก็อาจจะมีเวลาเหลือนิดนึงนะก็อาจจะอยากให้ฝากเดอร์เกอร์พูดถึงชาวไทยอีกนิดนึงนะครับผม the last thing just you see so many Thai fans behind you screaming look at that reaction do you have anything to say from all the Thai fans or all the fans watching around the world back at home just say a word or two.
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys very much. It's really loud out here. We can hear you guys every round, and it's really awesome to play here. Probably one of the best crowds I've ever played. So thank you guys.
Alright นะครับและนั่นก็คือเกมแรกของเราครับเดี๋ยวเราไปพักกันสักครู่นึงครับผม Ladies and gentlemen that is just our first game we still have more coming so please stay tuned don't go anywhere and we'll be right back